Will getting this brand new card make you a genius at the game, or should it be held back a grade? Find out what's going on as I hereby invite everyone to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. We get a brand new week, and that means it's time for a new Marvel Snap Pack. This time around, we are talking about Prodigy. Prodigy was a very intelligent kid who found the answers to his exams began to appear in his head whenever he was in the same room as his teachers. He then realized that he had the mutant ability to know anything that the people nearby him also would know. He became driven to study harder and dropped subtle hints to his family about his powers, but they failed to believe he was a mutant until the day that a college campus full of anti-mutants outed him, and he realized that he could no longer be a mutant in secrecy, so he accepted an invitation to attend the Xavier Institute. Prodigy was then asked to become the team leader of the New Mutants, but he declined to give somebody else the position who was a very bad leader. This caused him to unofficially take charge, with unfortunately great success. He later did learn that he had a mental block that could be removed, allowing him to permanently retain any of the knowledge that he absorbed, but he was also given a telepathic illusion of what this future, based on this decision, would entail. And in it, he had brought a near utopia to the globe, but at the cost of killing all his friends, and this illusion caused him to reject having his mental block ever removed. Prodigy wears a pair of custom-built cyber stage that function as a wireless broadband computer network. The shades provide an audio-visual field that he can expand these powers to allow others to see the information that he is currently receiving, or to see who he is currently talking with. The shades can be interfaced with any extraterrestrial data or any data on the Earth. The shades also provide various sensors for detecting any telepathic resistant patterns, tracking lost energy trails, and analyzing electronic circuitry, including many other minor things. Prodigy is a guardian of stability. He is fair, objective, hardworking, diligent, self-controlled, and composed. He relies on the map of the world around him, the functions and the fractions and the logic of the universe rule his day. This unique combination influences how he processes information, makes decisions, and interacts with the world. These traits manifest in his approach to problem solving, communication style, and personal relationships. He is analytical, curious, and independent, a knowledge seeker, and often enjoys deep thinking and problem solving. Prodigy is a super genius who can operate complicated technology and has a subconscious, uncontrolled form of limited telepathy. This allows him to temporarily mimic the skills and knowledge of nearby targets. He can acquire mental and physical abilities, be it the knowledge over a subject, a foreign language, or mastery of a fighting style. He can even predict the attacks of others in order to avoid them. He's a natural leader and strategist. Even without his mental capabilities, he is still an expert hand-to-hand combatant, but he does require his corrective lenses due to his poor eyesight. Prodigy is an advanced, intelligent mutant with the ability to mimic the knowledge, mental skills, and abilities of others around him. This is represented in Marvel Snap as he will mimic the knowledge of others as long as he is in the advanced row. So Marvel Snap, what this character does is he is a 3 cost of 4 power with the description of on reveal. If this is in your back row, you will copy the text of the card directly in front of it. So all in all, when I was looking through this card, I have to give it a 2-star rating. Let me go over some of the reasons why this one ended up as a 2-star. Now, I know a lot of people would suggest me to even get this lower than a 2-star rating. But the one card that I do think this will work well with will be the Iron Patriot. Play the Iron Patriot on 2, usually no matter what, that's usually what's known as your 1 slot. And usually play a better card to 3 slot, which goes into your 2nd slot on the board. If you win the location, you can easily put down Prodigy right behind Iron Patriot, and then you've gotten 2 Iron Patriots in the game. Very interesting, very good. I think it might be able to do something. Unfortunately, I think that might be the only deck that it works with. The problem that it has is it has the same problem as the Captain Carter shenanigans. We all kind of realized once Captain Carter came around how hard it is to do whole back row, front row, and the problem is this isn't even just back row, front row. This is also slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4. If this is in slot 3, it'll copy slot 1. This is in slot 4, it'll copy slot 2. One of the problems that you have with that is one of the only few cards that you might want in your slot 1 would be something like Ant-Man. And are you really trying to get an Ant-Man to be copied on your board? I mean, are you going to run a Wasp just to make sure that your sequencing is correct? And that's another thing. You can get weird stuff that shows up on your board. There are many locations where you can get a squirrel in slot 1, or you can get a rock in slot 1, or you can get a ninja in slot 1. One of the things that might be interesting to see with this would be something like the hood and kind of like a bounce-ish deck, because copying the hood is something that you would want to do because you're going to get the demon anyways, and it will copy the demon in that fact. And then you can find a way to destroy the demon, or sorry, the hood I should say. One of the things I have an issue with is, like, normally you would think of a good card to play on too would be like Strange Supreme. The problem with Strange Supreme is that you're playing it, it would go into the same lane as Strange Supreme. And then you're just doubling a win that you're most likely going to win anyways. And that's part of the problem that exists in here. Because the lane that you're going to put the Prodigy in, you need a sneaky way to win, otherwise you already would be winning that lane. One of the cards that might work with it would be Thanos. Because Thanos throws down stones anyways. None of copying the stones is going to hurt you. And getting Thanos one more stone of any of the stones isn't the end of the world. One of the things that does concern me is if you do whiff for whatever reason, if you do need to play this and your 3 can't go in 3, can't go in 4, I should say. And you're just playing an underpowered Cyclops. And nobody's even playing the high evolutionary Cyclops these days. Another worry and concern that I have about this is the amount of just location manipulation. We already talked about the squirrels and the raptors and the ninjas and the rocks and even the giant 10-point monster that you sometimes get. You don't want them to be copied. So that's my problem, is you have such a limited point to play. A long time ago, when Doc Ock used to be a better card, it was a 10-drop instead of an 8-drop, or 10 power instead of 8 power, I should say. It used to be used to fill up a lane, and that's the problem with this card. If you can't put this in slot 3, the second you put this in slot 4, you've locked up that whole location. You gotta be really sure that if you're putting Prodigy into slot 4, that it's gonna win you a game. Not that it's might win you the game or might be a good play. Because your opponent has so many chances to go around it, to counter that, to do anything else with that. Now, there's some talk about using this with Moonstone since it is a 3 or less. If you put down something interesting on the 1 or the 2, and then you play the Moonstone down, and then you can play this down to get the copy of on the 1 or the 2. I just think that's going through way too many steps to get Moonstone to work. The way I basically see this card is it's basically just a better Absorbing Man and a worse Absorbing Man at the same exact time. It kind of does the same thing as Absorbing Man, but it also will allow you to play an Absorbing Man on a Mystique or an Absorbing Man on a Goliath or an Absorbing Man on an Ant-Man. So it doesn't matter what the first card is, you'll still be able to play the Absorbing Man effect on turn 3 instead of turn 4. The problem is that with Absorbing Man, you can play Absorbing Man into any of the 3 lanes. With Prodigy, you have to play it on the same lane that you already played that card that's in the 1 slot or the 2 slot. So unfortunately, other than maybe Iron Patriot working for this, I really don't know what deck wants this. I will look through it and see what I can come up with. But it's really hard for me to think of what I want this to be. Anyways, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.